Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Cadre here to talk to you about Battle of the Books 2021. Mrs. Costigan, Mrs. Morava, Mrs. Bedford, and I are each going to tell you about 2 different books that are in this year's lineup. What you will do then is decide with your coach and your team which of the books you're going to read. Maybe you'll read all 8, maybe you'll only read a few. But I hope that you will be as excited as I am about the 8 books that have been selected for Battle 2021. All of the information about Battle of the Books is going to be on our Battle of the Books website. You can go to any of our school websites and then choose the Battle of the Books, and all the documents and information that you need will be there. There is also a parent meeting that will be by Zoom tomorrow night at 6 p.m., and that link will go out to families on Monday. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Christina Costigan and I am a children's and teen librarian at Springfield Township Library. And I am so excited for you to participate in Battle of the Books this year. We have some really cool books. So I hope you enjoy your experience and enjoy our book talks. If you like the Night of the Museum movies, you're sure to like this next book, Aru Shah and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi. Shah tends to stretch the truth a bit at times, and she's forced to take action to save your reputation with her classmates after she spins one tall tale too many. Just like rubbing a lamp releases the genie Aladdin, lighting the ancient lamp of Hindu legend releases the sleeper, an ancient demon who has left Arushah's classmates and her mother frozen in time. The demon can only be stopped if Arushah finds reincarnations of the 5 legendary Pandava brothers to guide her through the kingdom of death. Can Arushah stop the demon and save her loved ones, or will they be frozen in time forever? You'll need to read Arushah and the End of Time to find out. What does a playful sea otter have to do with flowering seagrass that grows underwater? This is the question asked in the book Sea Otter Heroes, written by Patricia Newman, but told by marine biologist Brent Hughes when he notices the super healthy seagrass in the water of Monterey Bay in Northern California. Although Brent's journey of discovery starts off with seagrass, he learns much about the sea otters who live in the bay and all of the other sea creatures who make up this unique ecosystem. Brent tells the story of his scientific discoveries, and of course, there are lots of cute pictures of the amazing sea otters, as well as the other inhabitants of the bay. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did and that you learned some really interesting things about sea otters and their role in the ecosystem of the bay too.
Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Lisa here from the Springfield Township Library, and I wanted to tell you about 2 of the books that have been chosen for the next Battle of the Books. The first one that I want to tell you about is called The 100 Dresses by Eleanor Estes, and it's illustrated by Lois. If you haven't heard of this one before, it was written in 1944, and as you can see, it was a Newbery Honor book that year. It's about a young student, and it takes place mostly at her school. Her name is Wanda Petronsky, and she's kind of a quiet girl, but the girls actually pick on her quite a bit. They pick on her name, and then they decided to pick on the fact that Wanda wears the same dress to school each and every day. And then one day, one of the other students is receiving compliments about her brand new dress that she wore to school when Wanda decided to tell the others that she actually had 100 dresses lined up in her closet at home. Well, the girls just couldn't leave that one alone. They actually bullied her quite a bit until one day one of the students decides that that's just wrong. She's had enough and she's not going to just sit around and be quiet about all this teasing anymore. Wanda eventually leaves the school, and at the end of the story, you will find out the real deal about the 100 dresses. And then before I show you the next book cover, I want you to think for a moment, what do these things, I have a question for you, what do these things possibly have in common? Okay, think about a microwave oven, the Slinky, silly putty, potato chips, fireworks, and chocolate chip cookies. What could they possibly have in common? Well, the answer is they were all discovered and created kind of by mistake. People were trying to do or make something entirely different, and in the process discovered or created some very cool things. And that is the same thing that happened in this next story by Chris Barton, illustrated by Don Tate, and it's called Whoosh. Lonnie Johnson's super soaking stream of inventions. And this is about a fellow who loved to tinker and create and invent things as a child. He went to college and became an engineer. He worked at NASA as a rocket scientist, but at home he still liked to tinker and invent all kinds of other things. And one day while he was working on a refrigeration system, he actually discovered a way to make such a tremendous stream of water, blast stream of water, that he thought it would make a really cool super soaker squirt gun. So maybe you have seen those and played with them before. They're great fun. It's a terrific story. It's a true story. It is out of the biography collection. And actually, I think that you will remember these books. I think you'll remember reading these stories for the rest of your life. They're that cool. So I hope you're all planning to join the battle this year. It's great fun, and I'm thrilled that you're able to conduct it this year, all virtually. So have a great time, sign up, and we'll see you at the battle. Bye.
Hi, I'm Miss Tracy from the Clarkson Independence District Library, and I'm here to tell you about one of the selections for this year's Battle of the Books, The Willoughbys by Lois Lowry. So The Willoughbys is about a family of 4 children who live with their mother and their father, and they're supposed to be what people would reference as an old-fashioned family. But the thing is, the parents are not super fond of their children, and the children are not super fond of their parents. So the children decide that they would like to be orphans, like some of the orphans in storybooks that end up with a happy ending, like Anne of Green Gables or James and the Giant Peach. And they develop a diabolical plan to get themselves a new family. But little do they know that their parents, in the meantime, are forming their own diabolical plan, reminiscent of another classic fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel. And I don't know if you know the true story of Hansel and Gretel, but things don't turn out so good in the end for Hansel and Gretel. So you'll have to read the Willoughbys to figure out how this story ends. And I hope you enjoy this one, and I hope you enjoy Battle of the Books this year. Hi, it's Miss Tracy. I'm here to tell you about one of your Battle of the Books selections, and this book is called Major Impossible. It's one of Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales, and it's the story of John Wesley Powell. He was born during the 1800s, and the thing that you really need to know about him is that he loved learning. He loved exploring, and he loved learning. And so after the Civil War, in which he fought for the Union, he was named part of a team that was going to float through the Grand Canyon for the very first time. So learning about the Grand Canyon, and science was his favorite subject, and geology especially. So learning about all the rocks and things in the Grand Canyon, it was such an exciting adventure for him. He knew he had to do it. But you'll read in this book about how dangerous that was, exploring something that has never been really explored before. And you'll learn all about his adventures going through the canyon with the other members of his team. This is a really cool book. It has some first-person articles that are at the end of it that you can explore. It's also a graphic novel, which is always fun. And as with all the other Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales, there are some commentaries along of the way with Nathan Hale's friend, Nathan Hale and his friend. So it's funny, it's exciting, it's adventurous, and I hope that you really enjoy it.
Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Cadrew here to talk to you about 2 books for the Battle of the Books. The first book I want to tell you about is the picture book in our selection for this year. It is about 40 pages long. It is called The Legend of the Petoskey Stone by Kathy Jo Wargen and Heber von Frankenheisen. This book is the 6th book in the Legend series. So you might have read The Legend of Mackinac Island, The Legend of the Loon, The Legend of Sleeping Bear, among others. It is a beautifully illustrated picture book, and I hope that you'll like it. The story is about a man, Chief Petoskey, and it follows his life from when he was born to a French fur trader and Odawa princess, and his growing up through becoming a skilled trapper and hunter, and growing up in the area that is now known as Petoskey, and how it came up from a Native American village to the town that we know it today. And I don't want to give too much away. It's a short book, but I think you will like it. I have been very excited to choose a legend book for a very long time, and this is the one we decided on this year. So maybe it'll be the book that you read to help out your team. The second book that I would like to tell you about is one of our longer books. It is 262 pages long. It is called Pax by Sarah Pennypacker. Pax is a wonderful story about friendship and love and loss and growing up and making hard decisions. So basically what the story is about is there is a boy named Peter, and he has a fox named Pax. And I don't want to give too much away, but Peter has to give Pax up. So Pax is in one part of the woods, and Peter is in another part of the woods. And the story goes back and forth between Pax and his adventures trying to go back to Peter and his adventures trying to find Pax. And what unfolds is just, it's an adventure story, it's a friendship story, it's got some sad parts, but I really, really liked it. And I hope that you will like it too, if it is the book that you end up being assigned for Battle of the Books.